Hello and welcome to Nintendo Review Podcast. This is our second E3 special. If you haven't listened to the first one, then maybe don't bother because we were catastrophically wrong. And we're going to go through all that in the first place anyway. But I'm Darren. I'm going to introduce my co-host today. We've got the Welsh Dragon from Taiwan, Lee. Hi, Lee.
Hello, everybody.
And last and least, every silver lining has a cloud, man. Greg from Northern Ireland. How you doing?
How's it going?
Very good. So E3's been and gone. We're not just covering the Direct, we're covering the whole of E3. I guess I must say JBS, Jonathan, isn't with us today, the usual host. I'm stepping in today. He's far too busy to chat with us. I think he's actually so distraught about how E3 went that he just couldn't face talking about it. But I'm sure he'll be able to talk about that when he comes back on next. But yeah, so first of all, before we kind of go through it in detail, just as a really quick sort of impressions about how you feel about the Direct itself and E3. You know, don't go in, like I say, not in too much detail, just general thoughts. Lee, if you'd like to go first, what do you think?
Well, reading online and everybody's had this negative opinion. Well, I didn't think it was so negative. The Direct had this fantastically frenetic start. Games were coming in thick and fast. Up to the 20-minute mark, I can remember looking at the timer and thinking, oh, we're only 20 minutes in. This is a 45-minute E3 Direct. And then nothing. Just one more game. It ended on a rather limp feeling, that's all I can say. But looking back at what was shown, it's still pretty good.
Pretty good, that's your view. So Greg, how do you feel? Do you feel similar, more positive, more negative? What do you think?
I rarely feel more positive about anything. I didn't see the Direct live because I was at work, so I didn't get home till it would have been after midnight till I watched it, but I kind of already knew everything that had been shown on it, and so I was already going in kind of disappointed because there wasn't really that much for me, to be quite honest. And knowing that Smash was going on for over 20 minutes, it was a good show, but there weren't enough games for me. Where was Wave Race?
Where was Woohoo Archipelago Adventure?
I had a tear in my eye.
Yeah, where was Wave Race?
Yeah, just a bit of a lack of surprises, but they'll come.
Do you think they'll come this year?
No.
Oh, okay. So they'll come eventually. I think similar to both of you. I think weirdly afterwards, when we was chatting afterwards, I think I was one of the most negative about it all. It's always a tricky one, isn't it? It's always like you have your own perspective, like what you want from it, but then also you think about the system itself and what we all want it to be successful. The more successful it is, the more games we get. And that's what concerns me the most. But it's fine. Smash Brothers does look amazing. Mario Party was a nice bonus. There's a few nice things in there, but I think ultimately the last 25 minutes was borderline torturous by the end. However good Smash is, it was too much. And yeah, the lack of surprises was disappointing. E3 is all about surprises, but there we go, there it is. But let's go through it in more detail now. I'm going to quickly run through all the games, and if you two will get any thoughts, just sort of jump into the first game, Daemon X Machina, coming in 2019, which is quite funny because they said it's 2018 only, and then the game that they do announce straight away is 2019. So what do you think about this one?
It came on, heavy metal music. I thought, this is nice. Mechs, the destructible scenery, and there's a scene later on in that game where it looks like there were two mechs fighting one giant enemy. And it's like, if this has online play and it's in a vein of something like Monster Hunter, but you got your four mechs and you're fighting giant enemies in that style, that would sell this game to me seriously well. Do you know the Attack on Titan 2 game on the Switch?
I know of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's 4-player online as well. It's very similar. It's like a light Monster Hunter. And if this went in the same direction, it would... Well, I'd be a day one buy for me. But looking at the later Treehouse stuff, it looks like it's only single player, which was a bit of a disappointment.
Is he still interested though?
Yes.
Or is it completely vanished?
Yes, slightly, but it's vanishing.
Okay, and Greg, I presume this isn't for you at all.
I don't know. I haven't actually seen the treehouse footage. I didn't know there was treehouse footage of it. But when I seen the trailer at the start, it actually looked like it gave me Suda 51 vibes. And I've been a fan of some of his previous games, like No More Heroes and Killer 7 is one of my favourite GameCube games. So yeah, the style was definitely appealing to me, but I wouldn't say mechs have ever been like my sort of style, but we'll see. It looks interesting anyway. Strange way to start E3, I thought.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was. You know, sort of a third. Is it exclusive to Switch though? Isn't it?
That's a good question. I assume so. It's by Marvelous, who are the publishers of Suda 51's games themselves. So
yeah,
I should imagine so.
I can't remember if it was now, but that's fine. But so next, what was introduced to, I don't know if any of you are Xenoblade 2 players. I'm not into massive epic RPGs. I don't have 100 odd hours spare.
You never touched it?
No, I tried playing Xenoblade on the Wii because everyone was, you know, kind of hyping it up, and I just can't get into it. I just didn't like it. I just couldn't get into it, so it's just not for me. But you know, it's got a massive following, and this one's a success. So I'm guessing, Lee, was this up your alley?
Up my alley, but I've had enough. The 120 hours after finishing the Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't need DLC. I need something new.
Oh, okay. So you're not getting this. Okay, that's fair enough. And Greg, what about you? Is this your thing?
Growing up, I wasn't really into RPGs, so traditionally it's not really my sort of thing. But I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on the Wii, and I got about 12 hours into it and sort of gave up, and then came back to it. I started again from scratch and like ploughed through it in about the space of about 6 weeks, and I actually just really got into it and just loved the characters and stuff. Never really got into Xenoblade Chronicles X, but I do have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'm only about 5 hours into it, so definitely not ready for any DLC yet.
Not for a long while.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So the next we got to the big one that we already announced. I mean, not to kind of go on too many kind of tangents or anything, but why didn't they save either Smash or Pokemon for this E3? That would have added a little bit of spice to it. But anyway, that's another issue. So Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I have got no idea about you two, if you're into Pokemon or not. So are you into Pokemon? How does this kind of excite you about or not?
Well, it excites me in that I'm not into Pokemon, and this might go well with my son as well, especially with the two-player cooperative aspect of it. And the Pokeball, I want that Pokeball. It's like, how much are they asking for it? 50 quid?
50 quid, is it?
Yeah. They can keep it. But the trailer they showed and the information they gave in the Direct was exactly the same stuff as before. There was nothing new, no? Waste of time.
Yeah, Reggie just went over it, didn't he? Yeah. Annoying. Greg?
Well, my son is too young, so he doesn't even know what Pokemon is at the minute. My only experience with Pokemon is playing Pokemon Stadium on the N64, and it was just the mini games at a friend's house. I don't own any of the Pokemon games, so probably not for me. Although, if I was to get into Pokemon, I'm more interested in the original 150 or 151 Pokemon. After that, it was just like too much.
This would be right up your alley.
So, if anything, this is more your thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah, and maybe in a couple of years' time, when I'm trying to introduce my son into games or something, this might be fun for him.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar position to you two, really. I've never been into Pokemon. I got Pokemon Red when they first came out, just because, you know, they kind of furore at the time. I think I was just a bit too old. I was at college at the time, so I was, you know, I'm not saying it's for kids, but I think when it first came out, I think, you know, it was aimed at kids, and kids got into it and grew up with it, and it's obviously the series has evolved in really kind of surprisingly complex ways, actually. But I'm not saying that, but at the time, it just wasn't for me. Like I said before, I'm not into RPGs too much, and I know it's light RPG, but just didn't get into it. Tried, which one was it? It's probably Fire Leaf, the one that came with the Poker Walker. I got that one. I tried again, couldn't get into it again. But saying that, this appeals to me a lot more than any Pokemon has, because, well, what you were saying, Lee, is that my son, I'm definitely going to play this with my son. He's already interested. I've showed him the trailer. He's loving the yellow rabbit, although I'm trying to tempt him into Eevee because I want to get the Eevee version. But he wants the yellow rabbit. But he's interested in it. We'll definitely play co-op. We've been playing co-op on Yoshi and Kirby, and I reckon he'll definitely be able to play this. He'll love the characters, so it's a good excuse for me to kind of give it a go. And I'm quite excited by it. I like the fact that we haven't got random. I hate random battles on RPGs. I'm glad we don't do that. I'm glad we don't have to battle every single Pokemon and we just have to catch it. I'm glad that they've gimped it and that it shares the experience across all your Pokemon rather than just the one that you fight with. That bugs me in RPGs when you've even Fire Emblem, which I adore. Fire Emblem, it's like, you know, you've got to give everyone opportunities to fight just so they can build up. But I like this streamlined. Let's just share it across everyone, so you don't have to kind of fight with everyone. I like the kind of the changes which understandably hardcore Pokemon fans are kind of condemning a bit, but for me that appeals to me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like me it appeals to, and you never know. All the people who come in from Go, people like me who aren't mega into it but are up for giving it a go, this can be the perfect gateway into next year's Pokemon. So I think it's great personally, so we'll see about that. The next one, the only new Nintendo first party that they announced, Super Mario Party.
It was the only one, wasn't it? You've just woken me up to that.
Yep.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it though. This is looking like
good.
It's going back to previous versions where the player characters are not grouped together anymore in those cars or whatever they were in. It's got that original style of board buying. What we saw in the treehouse, they were buying the stars and shafting each other. Yes, and plus the whole coup d'etat. It's got online mini games. I know it's not the whole board games, but having the opportunity just to have a quick few mini games with the boys online, yeah, great stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, the online is definitely a big factor for me. It's hard to get people together now to play locally, but online definitely helps. And I think it actually might be the first Mario Party I played since Mario Party 4, so it's been a long time. But it looks a lot more appealing. Sorry, no, I'm actually telling a lie because I actually played one of the 3DS ones. I totally forgot about that. I can't even remember what it was called. It's one of the recent 3DS ones. Can't remember what the name is, but I haven't played a home console one since 4.
So you didn't play any GameCube ones?
4 is a GameCube one.
Oh, is it?
It's the first one. It's the first one. I may have, I think my brother has a couple of them, which I may have played extremely briefly at some point. He might have one on the Wii. I'm not sure if it's 8 or 9, or I'm not even sure where they're up to now.
10 or something like that. Or 9 maybe.
They just seem.
10 or something.
Yeah.
I've got it. The Wii U one, I've got it anyway. The Bowser one.
They just seem to have lost something that made the original N64 ones fun. And they seem to kind of be getting that back with this one. It looks more like the original ones with the boards and the mini games and stuff. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I think all the mini games are always good fun. You know, I've got the Wii U one, which everyone hates. It's like you play the mini games; they're good with a few friends. They're good fun. The Bowser side mode is really good. Is good fun. The problem with it, and weirdly, I think this is 1-2 Switch's problem, because I actually think the mini games in 1-2 Switch are all right. Is that it's framing it to play, as in the way it's framed to play. The board game itself isn't fun, so it kind of, that's what it needs, and this is what, like you guys say, it's what this looks like it's got. And the only slight concern I've got, I mean, I do wish the board games were online as well. I just think let us decide if we want to spend 3 hours online playing a board game with our friends, but we've got to start somewhere, Nintendo. My only concern was when they were chatting about it on the Treehouse, they were saying that it's almost like you don't select the 5 mini games. That it's almost like, I don't know if it was almost like Splatoon, where there's almost like these are the 5 mini games that are online at the minute, and then they're the ones you play, and then it goes through a rotation. I wasn't quite sure the way they worded it. I was like, is that how it's going to be? Which wouldn't be great. Doesn't make loads of sense, but
that would be.
We'll see. That would be annoying, but it sounds great. It's like, what is it? The best of 5. Who wins? Play 5 mini games. Who wins? Really quick and easy, sort of online. It's great that it's there. I'm 100% gonna get this one. So the next one on the list that they spoke about is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm sure you all love Fire Emblem, yeah? Sure.
Yeah. Oh, Greg.
Let's start with the negative. Go on, then, Greg. Bring us down.
It's not about not liking Fire Emblem. I've never really played one. Like tactical RPGs never really seemed that appealing. I have the GameCube one, Path of Radiance, and I probably played it for maybe about an hour and a half. That was a good few years ago, and can't really remember much about it. But yeah, there was that, and Advance Wars seems quite similar in the way it plays, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
In some ways, and like I tried to get into it in DS as well, and it just wasn't really happening for me. But I'm I'm prepared to give it a go. You know, like I'm not sure if I would buy the Switch one like outright. I'd maybe like try the GameCube one again for a while to see if I can get into it.
Try Awakening.
I just about to say, Awakening was the last one I played, but it streamlined the whole tactical RPG elements of it. That it is the one.
Actually, I had Awakening. I remember I think there was some sort of deal on the 3DS quite a few years ago where if you bought like two Nintendo games, you got like a free third one. And I'm pretty sure I got Animal Crossing New Leaf as the third one. So I bought like Donkey Kong 3D and Fire Emblem Awakening, and I've still got Donkey Kong 3D, but I traded Awakening in.
Did you even try it, or did you just get rid of it?
Yeah, I think I tried. I can't remember trying it, but I'm sure I would have tried like the start of it, and just wasn't in the right mood for it or something. And it
might not be your thing. It's good. It probably isn't your
possible.
Darren, did you like the way the
true.
battlefield seemed far more dynamic in this one?
I loved it. I love this trailer. At the very beginning, I was a bit like, the graphics aren't as good as I thought they were going to be. The very beginning, when there's the typical feel, but then as soon as it went in, I was like,
Fire Emblem Warriors. It had that kind of cel-shaded, very similar. The only thing that has got me worried is that it's called Three Houses, and you know what they've done in the past recently?
I know what you're fearing.
Is this going to be 3 SKUs? I hope not.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I got the triple pack of Fates, and I haven't played. It's on my list to play over the summer. I started it. I put about 5 hours into it. And then I just got sidetracked. But I bought the triple pack of that. So yeah, please. I hope you're wrong. I don't think it will. I don't think so. But this is Nintendo. But so were you quite excited about it then, as a Fire Emblem fan? Were you like, yes, this is looking good?
Yeah, the battle scenes where you can you push your troops forward to get rid of some of the grunts on the ground and then finish off the big guy. It did have that Fire Emblem Warriors kind of feel, and it looks very dynamic. Yes, it looks fantastic. I'm sure they're not going to mess up the tactical RPG part of it, because that's where their bread and butter is.
Yeah, and also I don't know if you noticed, but on it said, because obviously in the old games you could pair up, so if you put fighters next to each other, you did extra damage and more potential. But on this, it had formations, so I think it's going to be even more opportunities to kind of have a bit more sort of tactics on the battlefield. Lots more kind of, like I say, grunts as well. I think it looks ace. So I was gutted it was 2019.
Spring 2019. I think they clarified later in Twitter. So it's going to be that first 3 months. Well, no, that goes up to June as well, can it?
Yeah, I was going to say that them saying spring does not fill me with any kind of confidence in any way. That could easily be slipped. So yeah, and I'm sure we'll chat about this later. It needs it. How good? Just imagine Fire Emblem being released in, say, August or September. But whatever. So it's not. So very excited about it, and you never know, Greg. Maybe the reviews. Maybe you'll get in the mood for it when it comes out, but probably not.
Probably not.
So the next one they announced, and I'm sure we've all got different opinions on this again as well. Is it's out? We're playing it already, and it's Fortnite. So Greg, again, let's start with you on this one. You've given it a little go. I think you're going to put more time into it, you said, but tell us your feelings on this one.
I will give it another go. I've played 4 matches so far, I think. The first one, I didn't really know what was going on. I think pretty sure it threw me into like a 50v50. if that's something in it, yeah. And because I seen like 2 wee counters going down at the top, and like I'm pretty sure I was the last person left on my team against like 30. I think it was 38 on the other side. I don't know how. Like I must have spent about 10 minutes just walking around, didn't see anybody, and then got sniped, and that was it. So the 10 minutes was like one of the most boring 10 minutes I've spent on the Switch, I think. But I guess that's partly because I didn't know what I was doing, and I obviously played a couple of games with you guys online, and again a couple of those was just walking around for 10 minutes, nothing really happening, just collecting bits and pieces. Did manage to get a couple of kills this time, but I don't think it's for me.
That's fair enough. Is it for you, Lee?
I have enjoyed what I've played so far. I was a bit like Greg at the beginning, you know. I was struggling to get the grips of the controls. I was landing in heavily populated areas just to try and get a weapon and dying very quickly. But the further I've gone, and it's like, oh, don't jump off the battle bus in the beginning straight away. Take your time, go off to the side, go in that little lonely hut. Oh, there's a nice weapon in there. And then it's the part where Greg says, oh, I wandered around for 10 minutes not finding anything. Well, playing hide and seek. It's got that feeling of, I'll hide behind this rock and just wait here. And just wait, and just wait. And watch that number counter dropping down to 20. Watching the storm coming, only move when I need to move. I'm very much a camper. I have enjoyed it, but I will struggle to put 100 hours into it like I have Splatoon.
Yeah, I mean I think that's fair enough. I think I'm sort of similar to you. I think, although maybe I'll put a little bit more time into it. That's right. At the beginning, it is so daunting because obviously people have clearly come from other consoles, so you jump straight in and people are good straight away. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's great because the standard isn't as good," but when you've never played it before, the standard is intimidating still. So it's a bit like, oh my god, you feel as if you've got no chance of doing anything, and the only shot you've got is hiding as long as possible. But as soon as it comes to the crunch, you're going to get killed. So it's a bit frustrating, I guess, at the beginning. But the more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it. It's sort of, I enjoy being on my own. I think you say it's boring, Greg. I actually find it really tense, and I like the tension of it. Like, you're wandering around on your own. Everyone's kind of moving towards the same area, and at some point you're going to see one person or a load of people, and I like that tension. To be honest, I enjoy that gameplay of it. But then on the flip side, I've started to play with friends and using voice chat. So my nephew's got it. A couple of mates I played with, JBS from Nintendo Review, and a couple of other friends. And actually, that is really good fun. You're getting a duo, getting a pair, or you're getting a team of 4, and you go around together. And then the kind of the boredom aspect doesn't, it isn't as strong. But then also you begin to kind of create tactics, and it's just a lot more fun. So I would say if you are going to give it another go, try do it with voice chat. Get a team of 4, get 4 of us together, all chatting. And I think if you're still bored by it, then definitely no chance. But the game changed a little bit when I started doing that. I was like, yeah, this is fun. I'm going to give the battle pass a go next time. Once, and then and see how we get on with that. See if I still enjoy it, and then either keep it going or not. But yeah, ultimately though, it's amazing for the Switch to have it.
And it's got voice chat. It's got baked-in voice chat. You just plug my mic in and off we go. Why are we have all these extra apps from Nintendo? It's crazy. That's a big thing. I was sitting in handheld mode thinking, there's a South African expat who I sometimes play online with, and you just pop the headset in and away you go.
Yeah, and it is that easy, isn't it?
Yeah. Why isn't it baked into the system? It's amazing.
Yeah, it is annoying. Like I was playing with my friends, and we were like, "Oh, how do you do it? How do you activate voice chat? What setting is it?" It's like there is no setting. You just plug a headset in and talk, and it works. It's like, oh my god. But I'm just hoping that other games do it. Are Nintendo going to let anybody do it? Like Payday 2 interests me, but it needs voice chat, so I'd be interested in that game if they added this in.
Yeah, if it's that easy, surely they'll eventually update the Switch to allow it. Because everybody hates the other solution.
I know, please. It is so good. It's so... well, we'll see. See what happens, but that was nice. But on the same vein, let's hope that this next game has a voice chat. simple voice chat in the same way. Overcooked 2. So, Greg and Lee, have you ever played Overcooked?
No.
Oh, no. Oh. Are you interested in it, Greg?
No.
Do you know anything about it, Greg?
No.
Well, come on then.
I
So, Lee, why
have
don't you
played.
tell Greg what Overcooked is?
You're basically one of 4 chefs. It only works. I've tried playing Overcooked, the original, in single player. It's so frustrating. You need at least 2 players. Better if you can get 4 players together. And as Greg will know, and he's mentioned before, it's so difficult to get 4 people together around one switch. You are taking orders from a restaurant, chopping, cutting, dicing, cooking, plating the food up and sending it back out to the restaurant in time. All under strict coordinations of bumping into each other, manic levels of... levels actually break apart with a volcano, sliding ice. It's a really frustrating game, but so enjoyable. Which this one should fix, because they got online multiplayer. Now, the only thing that worried me when Reggie was talking about the online multiplayer was he said friend in the singular. You'll be able to connect to a friend and play online games. What do you think of that?
Did he say that? Did he really?
Yeah.
I'm just going on. I'm going on the website, see if I can.
Oh, good. I didn't check.
See if I can find it, because that would be. I mean, it's still better than nothing. It's more than I was expecting. I know that. So.
Would this
I'm
be a
hoping.
game that you would pick up? Personally, myself, I don't know if I think I've had my fill with the first Overcooked. I don't know if I could pony up a few extra pounds for the second one.
I definitely will get this game. I've already bought it. I say I'll definitely get it. I've already bought it. It's sitting on my Switch as we speak. Because you get exclusive chefs if you pre-order. I love it. I love it for every reason that you said. It is frustration, and I want to smash my controller into the people who I'm playing with, and I'm sure they want to smash theirs into mine as well. But that is the joy of it. That's the fun of it. Is kind of getting through that. I really love it. But like you say, I've not completed it. I've not even got halfway through, because I don't want to play it on my own, and it's very difficult to get people together. But I've got a gaming weekend planned in a few weeks, so hopefully we're gonna kind of get through it then. But online just makes this a must-buy for me. I'm very excited, and all reports say that it's really good. So I'm just looking on the website now, and it doesn't say. Yeah, I surely.
Yeah, it's a 4-player multiplayer game. It's gotta have 4-player multiplayer online.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, surely it will. But there's another game not for Greg, and I'm guessing this next game Greg's probably never heard of it and is not interested in the slightest. Another online game is Killer Queen Black. Greg, how many times have you played this in the arcades?
I'm not sure if I've ever been in an arcade in my life. I've heard it mentioned on other podcasts before, but that's the Direct's the first time I've actually seen footage of it, and I was actually surprised by how similar it looks. Apparently, is it all on one big screen or something?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't really get a complete gist of how it plays from that, but
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
There seems to be some sort of like in Splatoon, there are different rules for different things. You can go and kill the queen, and then you've got some collect and store missions. You've got a snail-based mission where you have to sit on the snail and drag it across into the enemy's territory. So it's a kind of like a capture the flag thing going on.
I've played it.
Oh, what did you think?
Yeah, I've played it. So basically what you're saying there is that it's so. I mean, I love it. I mean, like I said, when I said it doesn't look great, when I first saw it, and I'd heard people talk about it, when I saw it, I was like, it doesn't look great, and I didn't quite understand what was going on. But once you play it, it is amazing. It's really good fun. So basically, those 3 rules that you said there, they're not separate in any way. It's only one game. Basically, you have to win. But they're the 3 different ways that you can win. The most common one is where you collect the berries and take them back to your beehive or nest or whatever, and that's the easiest way to win. Then and everyone's got a queen, the killer queen itself, and if you kill the other queen 3 times, then you win that way. But the queen is really powerful. They can fly around the screen, and everyone else plays a sort of a minion, and can only jump on the platforms. And then the snail is, if you can sit on the snail, it very slowly moves towards the other side of the screen. So if you can sit on it without the other person getting back to you or killing you, then you win that way as well. That is the hardest way. That's like the golden Quidditch for a Harry Potter reference. But that is really difficult to do. I played it for hours, and I've never seen anyone do it that way. That is really difficult to do. So it's just it's a great arcade game because
it gives me
it's
vibes
5v5 in the
of
arcades.
Towerfall, and that was a great fun jumping around there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this has got online. So, as long as it's not one Switch versus another Switch, and actually say we can all get together, form a team. It's only 4v4 on the Switch. If we can form one team, and then we can go online and fight other teams, that sounds that sounds like it'd be really good fun. And the name is, I don't know if you saw the Treehouse section, but the name Killer Queen Black is that because what they're saying is that online there's a black team. And that's basically, I'd say, the kind of best team or whatever. They're the black team. And then randomly, you could face the black team. And if you beat them, then you become the black team. And then everybody wants to kind of fight you and take your crown sort of things. But there's only ever one black team online at any moment, which I think is a nice idea. But I think we'll see how the online works. But it's really good fun. If it's cheap enough, it is. You will never want to play this on your own. But even, the Switch could have 8 Joy-Cons connected to it. If you can get 8 people around your house and play this on a big screen, that would be amazing. But we'll see. If we can't get 2 or 3 together, then I think 8 is a bit of a mission, but we'll see. And last before the show reel, God, this is taking ages, isn't it? I thought it was going to be a lot. I thought I was going to rip through this. I need to speed up. Sorry, guys. So, Octopath Traveler. It's an RPG. I don't care. But do any of you?
I do care, but I'm worried about the date is coming out. It's July 13th. They're not going to demo now. I don't want to actually use my 3 hours of the demo up. If I do get this, I want it to be completely fresh when I buy it. But I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off. It looks beautiful. Did you play the first demo?
Yeah. I did, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I did briefly too. Yep.
Turn-based strat RPG game. Okay, Greg?
Yeah, I played the first demo really briefly. I found that it took far too long to get to anything interesting in the demo. It was like anytime I sort of try a demo, I kind of want a taste of like the action like straight away. Whereas in Project Octopath Traveler, I was just walking around and I was just like talking to people. And I was like, just get on with it. And I couldn't be bothered anymore. By the time I actually got to a fight, it was like, I'll wait until the game comes out and judge it for myself. But I don't think it's going to be one of those games that I get straight away. It might be one that whenever it's reduced in price sometime, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so good. It was always like, I wish I liked RPGs. I want to buy it. It looks beautiful. I thought it was okay. It's just not the kind of game I want to spunk sort of 100 hours in. So, but for people who love RPGs, I think it looks amazing for those guys. So, it's a good title again, another exclusive for the Switch, which is good. So then they did a show reel, and I was just going to splurge through this, but maybe the first one that was appeared on the show reel maybe needs a little bit more conversation, and that is Starlink: The Battle of Atlas, the game no one was interested in the slightest until they showed a certain character who's in it. So Greg, like you mentioned before, that you weren't watching it, you was at work, but you was on the Discord, for the site's Discord, and everyone was talking about Star Fox and screaming Star Fox, and you had no idea what was going on. So what were you thinking then, and then how did you feel when you actually understood what we were talking about?
I'm still not entirely sure I understand what you're talking about, because I haven't really seen anything more than just that wee snippet of footage in the Direct, because I haven't actually went to check out the footage of the normal, what's it called, Starlink? Haven't checked to see what it looks like normally. So I've only seen the wee clips with like a bit of a strange looking R-wing flying around. Definitely, like if it wasn't for Star Fox, I probably wouldn't be interested in the slightest. But now I'm slightly intrigued.
We're such fanboys, aren't we? It's embarrassing.
I love the way the modular systems all pop on, but I can never imagine myself buying any. If I bought the base pack for Star Fox, that's it. That's your lot. Can you imagine spending hundreds of pounds on extra modular systems for the weapons? No chance. It doesn't interest me apart from it being a great space battler, which I don't know if it is yet.
Yeah, sort of same. I mean, I'm probably going to buy it just for the R-Wing, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Well, fingers crossed it ends up being the greatest Star Fox we never got, but we'll see what happens with that one. But it was good to see anyway. Obviously, we all saw it the night before in the Ubisoft.
They missed the GP off at the end of the title.
I know. What was that? The rumours were wrong. It's coming next year. So I'm just going to reel off the whole list of these games. So any that appear like you want to talk about, just keep in mind, and then we'll chat about them afterwards. So they did a reel, and again, like you mentioned earlier, Lee, I was very excited at this point because I was thinking, don't spend any time on Starlink, don't spend any time on Rabbids DLC or the Octo expansion or Toad. We know about those games. Don't waste any time with it. And they didn't. They whacked them all in a reel. So they gave us Starlink, Arena of Valor, the MOBA, Minecraft, which has been out a year. I've got no idea why they're showing that, but Sushi Striker, Mario and Rabbids DLC, Pixar, Just Dance, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which was crazy that it was like a 10-second clip, which I thought was going to be a big reveal, but it was just thrown in there. That's great news. The expansion, Octo expansion, Toad's Treasure Tracker, Crash Trilogy, Ninjala, which maybe that's something we should talk about at the end. Carcassonne, I'm very excited about that. I play the board game, so I'm happy about that. FIFA 19, Ark Survival Evolved, Wasteland 2, Paladins, Fallout Shelter, Dark Souls, SNK Heroes, Monster Hunter Generations, Wolfenstein 2, World Ends With You, Mega Man 11, Mario Tennis Aces, all splurged in a minute or two. It was great. Any of those games that you want to talk about or you're excited about buying?
I am looking forward to the Monster Hunter Generations, just because I like Monster Hunter and thing. But the game that really gets my juices flowing is the Wolfenstein 2.
Okay.
Played Doom. I don't know if you boys played Doom on the Switch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, great. And especially after the update was patched in with the motion controls as well. Fantastic. If this is at least half as good as what Doom was, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great as well.
Yeah, agreed. Me and Greg had many debates about Doom, about how good it actually was. I'm with you. I think it's amazing. I played it. I never even played it with motion controls. I loved it. And Greg, Mr. 7 out of 10 Greg. But you did enjoy it. You're just a harsher critic. I'm easily pleased. But you liked it.
Yeah.
Are you excited about Wolfenstein 2 after liking Doom so much, Greg?
Well, I've never played a Wolfenstein game before, and I've never really been into shooters since like GoldenEye on the N64. So it's been quite a long time.
Time Splitters too, surely.
Doom. I played that. I don't really like it as much now as I did when it came out. Like you say, for me, Doom was like a 7 out of 10. But whenever they released the update with the controls and fixed some of the glitches, it probably pushed it up to an 8 for me, because it just felt so much better, so much smoother, much better game then. So if Wolfenstein has those sorts of controls and doesn't suffer from like the audio glitches and whatever else was wrong with Doom, then yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested in it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Any of the other games, Greg, there that you're excited about?
Well, I've played Captain Toad on the Wii U, and I'm going to get it again because I absolutely loved it on the Wii U. So a few extra stages and whatever else, probably going to make it worth purchasing again. Got Mario Tennis pre-ordered, so we'll probably all be playing that next weekend.
Oh yeah.
Or this weekend even.
Yeah.
Yes, it is this weekend coming, 22nd.
Yeah, happy days. There probably wasn't that much else in the show reel that really was that sizzling.
FIFA 19.
So
with friends.
Thank goodness there's the ability to play with friends online. It's ridiculous that they never patched that into the Switch version, or even
that's how low our standards have become, isn't it? That we're excited for FIFA 19 because we can play with friends.
And then FIFA 20 will come along and do voice chat.
Oh, the dream.
There won't be a FIFA 20. There's my prediction.
Not on the Switch, anyway.
But I quite like FIFA 18, to be honest. And then of course there was the World Cup update recently, and for some reason it wasn't working on my Switch. I think that's been a common problem for quite a few people. I'm not sure if you had any problems.
Do you know what? I've not touched FIFA since it came out, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I've been working away quite a lot. I've not been around, so. But I'll wait until Tottenham start making some signings, so then I can put them in the Tottenham team and then fantasize about next season when we've got all these amazing players. So until the next one comes out.
Good luck.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it was just good to see the variety as well. You know, like I say, Dragon Ball FighterZ. You know, I've never watched Dragon Ball Fighter in my life, but it was such a kind of a hyped up game. I think it seems perfect for Switch. It's great to see it, whether I get it or not. But yeah, same as you, I am unbelievably excited for Mario Tennis. I cannot express how excited I am for that, for Friday, to get that. Wolfenstein 2 the same. Monster Hunter I'm unsure of. I loved Monster Hunter 3U on the Wii U. I put a lot of time into that, and I've not touched one since, so I should. I'm a bit annoyed that it's about Monster Hunter World, and it feels like we're playing like a gimped version of Monster Hunter all of a sudden, so souring it.
I expect them as well. Well, not expect them, but can you imagine you put your 50 quid into Monster Hunter Generations, and then a couple of months later they go in, hey, Monster Hunter Worlds is coming.
Yeah, it'd be really annoying, wouldn't it? So it's putting me off it a little bit, but we'll see what happens. I'll probably end up buying it because I'm stupid and I buy too many games, but we'll see about that. But the one game I did want to talk about a little bit, because I don't know if you guys heard any more about it, is Ninjala.
Only the couple of seconds that was shown and a couple of screenshots, and it does look like a ninja fighting Splatoon crossover type of game. Any other gameplay elements?
Yeah.
How many players are in it or anything else? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks great. It's an online sort of team-based. It sounds like Splatoon, but when you actually see it in motion, it doesn't feel the same as Splatoon. There's a big chewing gum mechanic, weirdly, so you can chew gum and create bubbles and float. It's got a like they can bounce off walls and so. I think it looks great. I think it looks really good, and I think come this time next year, it could be like a really great multiplayer game.
Yeah, colourful.
I think it
looks fun.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being like a much bigger game than that reveal sort of gave it credit for. I thought when I looked more into it, I was like, this looks really good, really, really impressive. So, but we'll see how that goes. So then after that, we thought, like you said, Lee, oh my God, we've nearly not even 20 minutes in and we've seen about 40 games. The third-party extravaganza is happening.
We are in for the best E3 ever here, boys.
Exactly. We're gonna then okay. So now they're gonna show Smash. They're gonna give us 5 minutes on Smash to get that out of the way with before a couple of big surprises: Star Fox GP, Animal Crossing, Pikmin. It's all coming. And then they spent 25. I'm not gonna swear minutes on Smash Brothers Ultimate. And it's like I don't want to be annoyed at Smash Brothers. I think the game looks staggeringly good. I am so excited about Smash Brothers. It looks incredible. I think it's going to be amazing. But to talk about what they spoke about, the character changes and items, and don't even get me started on the treehouse. Every other half an hour was a Smash Brothers. It's like, oh, now we're going to spend half an hour talking about the hammer weapon. And it's like, oh my God, it was too much. And I was devastated. After 10 minutes, I was like, please stop. Were you as deflated and annoyed as me was watching that 25 minutes of Smash?
I zoned out quite a few times. He started talking about the minutiae of battle techniques and limit gauges and I don't know what's going on. I just jump in, I bash the buttons. If I win, I win. Hey, I'm happy. I know nothing of battle techniques.
Yeah, and as the longer it went on, the more you're looking at the clock and just thinking, every 5 minutes, okay, that's another game they're not going to announce. That's another game they're not going to announce. And then it ends. And it was a great ending. Ridley was a great video. It was a great reveal. And then the Nintendo logo comes up and the copyright stuff comes up, and you're like, oh, wasn't it? But Greg, you were pre-warned. You were pre-warned on all this.
Yeah, I knew Smash was going to take up the rest of the Direct and stuff. So
Did it feel differently having known what it was going to be like?
I guess so. Like I had already got through my disappointment by the time I was watching it. I've never been the biggest Smash player, but I mean, I've got all of them, and the fact that everything's coming back, like all the characters and presumably a lot of the stages and stuff are going to be in this one.
The minute there are 84 stages confirmed. I know on our notes you've put 83, but Final Destination got spotted yesterday. So there's 84 stages confirmed already. There's going to be
3 forms
every
as well.
stage.
You get the normal form of the stage, you know, the crazy ones, and you got a Battlefield and Omega, so you got 84 now, times 3. Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, like they've probably got the name absolutely right, because like it's like the ultimate Super Smash Brothers. And for me, like the Switch has been like this wee haven of just like great multiplayer games playing online. Like you've got the Splatoon, you've got Mario Kart, all sorts, and like Smash Brothers is just gonna fit right in there. I think I'm gonna like the series is probably gonna really take off for me now, because I've never been good at the previous ones, but I think I'm going to give this one the time to maybe get good and like have lots of fun online with you guys and whoever else is playing it.
I'm not good, but even when you lose, it's just so much fun. I'm the kind of person who wants all the weapons on. I want the hazards on. It's like the opposite to how I want tennis and the other sports games and stuff. But I want it madness. I want it crazy. So I want it good fun. But yeah, very exciting game. But disappointing.
Yeah, I kind of hope there's like some sort of good single player game in there, because like the Subspace Emissary on Super Smash Bros. Brawl, maybe it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was something to sink your teeth into when you're sort of playing by yourself.
Agreed.
And they haven't really shown anything in this one, and I sort of get a feeling that there's maybe not going to be any big.
I'm the opposite. It's going to be there. I've got a feeling I think there's going to be loads of modes. I don't know if you guys played Smash Tour. It wasn't great, but one thing that was amazing it did was when you collected characters on the Smash Tour, and then at the very end you had a fight, but with all your characters. It was almost like each stock was a different of the characters that you'd collected, and that mode was amazing. Forget the Smash Tour bit, but let's have like a character stock mode where you can, you pick your 8 characters or 3 characters, and then when they die, the next one jumps in, or even a tag mode where you can flick between them. I don't know, but I think it is going to be the ultimate version, and it's going to have a single player mode, and it's going to have hopefully online Smash Run would be amazing, and then some new modes thrown in. I know I'm the optimist again. I'm back. I'm over E3, but I really think they're going to go on modes and features, and it's all going to be in there. Everything.
Target mode, I want. The last Smash Brothers I played was on the Wii one, Brawl. I'd never played the Wii U one. Internet's always let me down a bit, but the targets from the original, they were in the N64 ones, weren't they? In the GameCube ones as well. You're jumping around the stage, smashing the targets in record times. Loved it. I hope that returns as well.
There is a target mode in the Wii U version, but it's not quite the same. But there is one. You sort of like fire things. So you've got the targets, but you've got it's almost like a shooting range in a way. But it's still a good mode. But I agree with you. You never played the Wii U version?
No.
Oh, this must be like, this is a dream, surely, for you then. It's like perfect.
It feels like I've done the right thing. It's like, I've held off, and now all my praises are coming.
You could say that about the whole of the Wii U, though. If you held off on the Wii U, then this would be perfect. But that's another issue. It's So in terms of the Direct, then Smash Brothers sounds like we all agree. Looks amazing, but 25 minutes and no big reveal, very frustrating. But
it should have been its own Direct.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, been and gone, done now. So, like I said, there's a few announcements afterwards. They announced Freedom Planet. If any of you played that on the Wii U, I didn't like it. It's like Sonic, don't like Sonic. So
very much like Sonic. There's a review. I did a review for that on the website. Check it out if you want. Yes, it's got exactly the same problems of running too fast into a spike pit, die. You just don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, exactly. But that's coming. So as many games as possible. And then on that front, Team Sonic Racing. I'm someone who loved Racing Transformed when the Wii U first came out. 5 players. I loved it. Did any of you guys play that?
Play the demo. I don't like the way the game... The cars handle very loosely compared to Mario Kart. Mario Kart feel tight and precise. The Team Sonic racing games, they tend to drift more. And the trailer filled me with a sense of dread as the cars are sliding across the track as if they're on ice. I don't think this one's for me.
And it looks slow.
Yeah.
Really slow as well.
I think I might have the same problem there. I think I may have played it on one of them on the 360 at someone's house at one time. I think there's just something about the tracks. It's like there isn't enough clarity or something. There's too much going on, and like when you're playing Mario Kart, like you can see the turns ahead. You know what's happening. You can like plan what you're doing and stuff. And I felt too chaotic in the Sonic games. I never got into it.
That's fair enough. It is obviously doesn't have the polish, the sort of graphical polish as well, in the mechanics and the control. It's obviously not as good, but I liked it a lot. But I think this one looks naff. But we'll see about that. The other one, Mario Tennis, the game we're all excited about. They are announcing characters every week.
They are dropping them via Twitter as well. It's like, boom, have this one. It's like, wow, thank you very much.
And I was like, well, hold on, Nintendo, announce something next week. But so they first announced, who were the first ones that they announced? Koopa Trooper.
Blooper and Koopa Trooper, and they'll be coming in August. But there's a caveat to how they're going to arrive. I don't know the exact date in August. I'm sure they just said in August. But if you compete in tournaments online, you have the opportunity for collecting them earlier than everybody else.
Great, that's brilliant. And then they announced Birdo, Paratrooper, and Diddy Kong. It's just like, if they're going to do this for the next year, that is going to be amazing. Give us some new courses as well, some new arenas, that'd be amazing. But this game, I cannot wait. And then the last announcement that they did, which was there's sort of two announcements. It's part of the arcade archives. The first one was the Donkey Kong arcade archive, which is the first time this has ever been released outside of the actual arcades. It's the original. There's three versions of the game. The original Japanese version, which is really buggy, weirdly, and they've kept that in. So it's really buggy. Then they released a newer version of it without the bugs, and then they've got the international version which came over to the West. I think this is really exciting. I think those arcade archives are amazing. The Punch-Out one, the new Super Mario Versus. Whether you put 5 minutes into them or not, for me, as a collector, as a Nintendo fan, it's like, just as a piece of history, they're amazing. I mean, have you picked any of them up, or this one even?
I haven't. This one is by far the most interesting one that I will pick it up. The ones previously, I'm waiting for VC, and I know it's not coming. I know the Virtual Console is not coming.
But this is it.
Yeah, so I'll wait and see what happens with their online and all the NES games, and if nothing is happening with those, I will purchase a few of these.
Yeah, for me, I think the Punch-Out Arcade Archives one is probably the most appealing. I haven't bought any of them yet myself, but I'm a bit of a fan of Punch-Out. Never really been into Donkey Kong. The only one I would have played a wee bit was probably the NES one it would have been on the 3DS probably, and I probably told you guys plenty of times the NES isn't really my favourite console. Anything before the SNES is probably almost feels too old to me. I know that's probably going to get a lot
even
of heat,
Punch Out on the NES.
Never really got into that one. I love the first one. The first one I played was Super Punch Out. I downloaded it on the Wii Virtual Console. Absolutely loved it. It's probably my favourite Punch Out still, but never really get into the NES one.
There's no hope. Obviously, I bought them all. The Punch Out one is great. Weirdly, I'd played the arcade one like a few weeks before in America in arcades. So it's great having that. The new Super Mario Versus, it's like a remixed version with lost levels in it as well. It's very very. I didn't even know it existed. In all honesty, didn't even know it existed until it came out. But
So
for
having
me,
played
it's like history.
both versions, the arcade and the arcade archives, is it as close as you can imagine?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, in all honesty, I'm not the best player. I'm not into like frame rates, and it felt the same to me. But I'm definitely not the person to ask about how accurate it is. I presume so. I mean, people seem to say they're impressive, but I just love the fact that these are games that have been almost impossible to play, and the fact that they're now whatever happens, I think they're great. But they also announced another one. I think was it called Sky Skipper? Have you heard about this?
Yes, I didn't write that in my notes. Sky Skipper.
Yeah, so this is another arcade game that Nintendo did, and I don't think it never left Japan. It never came out of Japan. Sort of no one's ever heard of it. There's something infamous about it where the arcade artwork was amazing and people didn't know who drew the artwork and things like that. And obviously then they announced it at E3. It's coming out to the arcade archive. So again, however good it is, it's another slice of history that we've never been exposed to. So I'm really excited about that. But then they found out that it's Miyamoto who drew all the artwork for the arcade cabinet, which was
cool.
nice. So they spoke about that. But this came out in 1981. So it's a really old game. It's never been over here, and I don't think there's that many machines left of it either. So great, more of this, please. Kind of really, really treasure your history. And hopefully whatever becomes a virtual console, it is more like this, and it's more like we want the history side as well, not just the games. We want the history. We want the artwork. We want more. So good stuff for that. But I did think that was going to lead into more about Nintendo Online Classics or whatever they're going to call it. But actually, another note on that, Reggie did say that the Switch Online is the replacement for the Virtual Console. He did say that.
Yes, and
which is terrifying.
Depends how it goes and how can we get the games. And I'm envisaging that you download, it's all on the app and all that, but you download a kind of virtual console shop, just like a small little e-shop, and then you can load that up and it goes into something similar to like an SNES mini kind of, and you can select the games from that in its own menu. If they're all individual games and it's plastered all over my Switch, I won't be too happy, I don't think.
I'm with you on that. I want like a little SNES icon, click on the SNES icon, and then it's all your SNES games in there and stuff like that. But they could get around that by just having folders and then icons. I did that on the 3DS in the end, because they had that badge arcade, didn't they? So then you can replace the folder with a SNES badge, and it's a clumsy workaround. But and how are you feeling, Greg? Because I know that when in the early days of the Switch, you in particular was really, really banging on about you want everything on the Switch. How are you feeling, and how are your hopes moving forward now?
Well, knowing that the Virtual Console wasn't coming was like a big kick in the teeth. But the fact that Reggie said that this online thing is a replacement has kind of gave me slight hope that we're going to eventually get some great stuff down the line, like even like maybe improved like N64 games with like online and stuff. But then I sort of come back to the price of it, and it's like I can understand the NES games being included for that price point, but if they're going to include like Super Nintendo, N64, even GameCube and stuff, surely $17.99 a year is like too cheap for something like that.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought about it. I was just like, that could, ultimately, if Switch Online becomes the sort of like what everyone thought, the Netflix of it all, and then we get NES games and GameCube games, and that'd be amazing. But it's too.
I mean, if they do all that for $17.99 a year, that's like the most amazing thing
that's why
ever.
We know it
Nobody will care about the Virtual Console anymore.
Well, the only thing they could do is introduce tiers, so that then have like a gold pan and a platinum, and that's SNES, GameCube, or whatever. Hopefully we'll find out more.
So how much are you willing to pay if they had NES, SNES, large libraries of N64 and GameCube?
A year?
Yes.
How much would I be willing to pay, or how much do I think would be reasonable?
Both.
I'm not the best person for willing to pay. I would be willing to pay, in all honesty, I'd be willing to pay a year. This is going to sound ridiculous. because I'm working out on a monthly fee, but I'd be willing to pay up to £200 a year. Yeah, but that's less than £20 a month for all those games. And on, if you, I'd be easy willing to.
You only have a certain amount of time to play every month.
I'm not saying I'd play any of it.
Like something in the Amazon Prime's what, like £70 a year or something like that.
I still think that is overpriced.
Yeah, but if it was something like that, then yes, probably still be interested. But there's part of me that likes to own the software, and it's like, if you're paying all that money in like a few years' time when they shut down the servers, all that's gone, and you don't have anything to show for it after that. Just your memories.
But what memories? Lee, we'll go on in. You can say like 50 quid or something.
I was looking at something along the lines of 40 to 50 quid, yeah. If it's all
that's the same as Xbox.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's the same as Xbox. I don't know who would be willing to pay more than that 50 quid mark.
I think what they need to do is not do it as a yearly fee, because it sounds disgusting. But if you think of Netflix, which is what, $7.99 a month, so that's just under £100 a year. And for me, I feel as if it's GameCube, N64, Game Boy Advance, NES, and SNES. That's more valuable than, say, Netflix. So I'd be at least 10 quid, but I'd be willing to pay 15 quid a month. That's what I was working out at. So, but when you say a year, it sounds ridiculous. That's £180.
It's scary, I know. Yeah.
But so if it was 10, forget the year, because if it was £10 a month, and you had every single Nintendo first party, GameCube, N64, NES, SNES, Game Boy Advance, their library, you don't think 10 quid a month is pretty good value, and including online as well?
It's semantics, yes. 10 quid a month sounds good. You've sold it to me.
So it's all in the marketing.
Yeah.
But what about you, Greg? £10 a month?
Yeah, that sounds fine. The only thing is, when you're doing that, it's like, I have most of those games anyway on like their original console.
But like he was excited about, Greg, it's not on the Switch, that gorgeous screen.
I know.
You can pick it up and take it out with you.
It's one of those, it's like, how does that work? If it's like an online service thing, would you be able to download the titles and then you can obviously take them out with you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
you can do that on PlayStation.
You're not going to be stuck at home.
No. The way as long as you log in, say, once a week to reconfirm I think it's fine. But also, your Switch will know when your subscription runs out. So if you could use the clock maybe, but no, you'd definitely be able to take them out with you. But just imagine 10 quid a month for online Blue Storm. Exactly. Perfect. Sold to the man in the cup. Good. But actually, this leads on quite nicely to our predictions, because that in particular was one of my predictions. But we're going to go into it. Let's start off. Greg, did you get Jonathan's predictions?
Yes, I think we were all supposed to have 5 predictions, but I think I got 4 from him when listening to the last week's podcast.
So go for it. What did he say? Division 2 was one of them.
I think his first one was like a Division 2 style game, or just the Division 2 or something like that. We can
safely say no.
Which obviously, yeah, that was a hard no. His second prediction was also Wave Race.
No.
Unfortunately, we didn't get that either. Then, with Mario Tennis coming, he thought there was going to be a Mario Golf revealed.
No, that was never going to happen.
That was it. That's no. And his last prediction was like some sort of like Nintendo Land style hub world.
Well done.
And you're all laughing at how outlandish my predictions were. A massive score of 0 for Jonathan.
Nil point. What did he say for Smash Brothers? Did you get that as well in his dream game?
I don't know.
He was wrong anyway. No one said Ridley, so no points for Mr. Stanley. Lee, what about you? How did you do?
Well, I did say there would be a Metroid Prime trilogy, HD coming, which there wasn't, but it was around. You have to be the point giver here, to the judge, to say yes, you can have the point, no you can't. I did say that Metroid Prime 4 would not be shown.
Well, it wasn't shown.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean that was all in one prediction?
That was all in one prediction.
Half
point.
Okay. Greg, go, what do you think? You beat, because I've got one similar to that. I've got one where I mentioned something, but it's not quite what I said. But so you give the point, and then I'm gonna hold you to it with me.
I don't know, to say like Metroid Prime 4 won't be shown is like, you could say a million things that aren't going to be shown.
Okay, I'm guessing that's a no, Lee. Sorry, no points.
like I could have said like Metal Gear Solid 6 on Switch won't be shown.
Okay, go right. So what's your next one?
Mine was a new ranked mode in Splatoon 2. Nope. Woohoo Archipelago Adventures, and we all know
the infamous.
and we all know that was shown at the end. My fourth one was the N64 Classic Mini will be coming. No chance. And then, for some reason, I mentioned that Rockstar were going to bring GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 1. And that was a no-show as well.
And what was your dream game? Oh, we know.
My dream
F1.
Game was the F1, from Codemasters, and Codemasters letting me down at the last minute.
And for Smash Brothers?
Oh, Musashi from Sushi Striker, but by the way that Sushi Striker has sold in Japan, I don't think he will be introduced in any form of DLC in the future either. Poor Musashi.
Or have any we won't be seen again, I don't think so. We'll see about that. I'll do mine next then before you, Greg, 'cause I think we'll see about this. So my first one, and I think this could be open for debate. I said a third-party extravaganza. Now
I'm not letting you have that one.
We had a lot of third parties. Not even Starlink and Fortnite and FIFA and Overcooked 2 and we're definitely going to get Doom 2 and Wolfenstein, surely.
Unconfirmed.
So you're not giving me it, are you?
No. There was too many indie titles and too little what we would classify as the big third-party extravaganza to blow us away.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Okay, so my next one, Pikmin 4 with online bingo battle. I'll save that one for next year. So my next one, I said, I'm not going to get this either, but I'm going to try. I said more Mario, but I continued by saying a 2D Mario.
What was the more Mario?
Okay. Well, no, I just thought I knew we'd get more Mario, but I did say I think it's going to be either New Super Mario Brothers U-Port or Mario Maker 2, but I should have just left it at more Mario, but I guess you can't be that vague. I said that they're going to talk about their Nintendo Classics range. I'm guessing the archives don't count. Then my final one, I was certain, was Animal Crossing. That didn't happen.
That was
How
a
depressing.
strange omission, huh? Yeah, very depressing.
I know. I reckon it's nearly ready and they're just timing it right, but we'll see. I reckon next spring. I think it'll come out exactly when I thought. They're just going to show it later on this year. My dream game is Wave Race. That will always be my dream game until it comes out. Now, this is the one where I could be up for. I did say 2 characters, so it's a bit cheating in that way. But I said for Smash Brothers, Bomberman, and I did mention how mad would it be if we saw Mickey Mouse. That's a bit of a dream one. But Bomberman isn't a fighter, he's an assist trophy. But he was highlighted. Do I get anything for Bomberman?
Well, the Smash character prediction, wasn't it? Is a character a fighter or an assist trophy?
I think it's both.
So far, JBS has scored 0. I've scored 0. And if I let you have this one, you get 1 point. Greg, do we let him have the 1 point?
A quarter of a point.
Yeah, take your quarter.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. So, Greg, what did you say? Were you as awful as the rest of us?
Almost. My first one was, obviously, I'd said there'd be no Grand Theft Auto 5 on Switch, but there would be Red Dead Redemption. Obviously, that didn't come. My second one, they didn't show any 3DS games on the Direct, so this was never going to come true. I said Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door would be remade for the 3DS. My third prediction was a Mario vs Donkey Kong Maker, which again didn't come. My fourth one, I think, was I also said Metroid Prime Trilogy HD would come to the Switch.
That is coming.
And my last one, and I think this has to be a point. I said Mario Party would come back, and that the focus would be on like people sitting around taking Joy-Cons off, battling each other.
Yeah, spot on.
Surely
Yeah,
that's a
bang
point.
on. Yeah.
We have a winner. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your dream game and your Smash Brothers?
My Smash Brothers was, I thought Banjo and Crash would both come into Smash Brothers.
Not even one of them.
And at this point, I don't think we're going to get either. And my dream game was basically the one that Lee was talking about last week, the Wii.
Yeah, of course.
Woohoo Archipelago or whatever he was calling it.
By default, Greg wins.
Yeah, I'll give
with
it to him.
1
Yeah, I'm
point.
taking that one.
And I finished second with 1/4 of a point.
I get away with
that
a
was
tied
bad.
third place.
Exactly.
The disappointing thing is, I don't even think we were dreaming that big with these predictions.
Like Metroid Trilogy.
And we didn't
stuff
get
like that.
anything.
It's like, oh my god. And the thing is, I still think Metroid Trilogy will come this year. I still think it's going to come, but we'll see.
Yeah, quite possibly. I was actually surprised by all the stuff they didn't show. I mean, they didn't show Yoshi. They didn't show the Star Fox game that is
Bayonetta
rumoured
3.
and surely happening.
That kind of fits into the kind of final point, I guess, before we leave. It's going on a bit now, so let's just end it on here. But like what you're talking about, Greg, is like what did they leave out? The obvious stuff which we expected because we'd seen or heard of it before. But what do you feel ultimately, Greg, that they needed or did leave out that they really could have done with to really have a great E3 and have a great year? What were they missing?
Well, I think even just a wee snippet of Metroid Prime 4, or even that Star Fox game. I mean, if Retro aren't doing that Star Fox Grand Prix game, like we still have absolutely no idea what they've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. So I just feel like we need just one thing just to sort of give us something to be excited about.
I agree. It needed that last. Hey, we got one more thing. Just one more large first-party Nintendo developed game, Animal Crossing. It would have taken away the bitterness of 25 minutes of Smash.
Yeah, I sort of have like this sort of list of games that I don't think are gonna come, but they're like my sort of games, like your Wave Race, your 1080, Pilot Wings. Even like an Excitebike 64 sequel, and then I have these other games that I thought were probably more likely to appear, like Animal Crossing,
Pikmin.
or I quite like Pikmin. But
Quite
maybe
like
in that sort
Pikmin.
of bracket of games. Yeah.
Wow. I'm kidding.
High praise for
exactly.
me.
Yeah, game of the year. I agree with you too. I think it needed two things. I think it needed that ending wow moment, like the Metroid Prime logo, and it could have been a logo. It could have been the kind of music to Animal Crossing coming in, or the Star Fox. It's just something to make us go coming in 2019, like a little teaser. I personally think the Switch library, the Switch first party games this year is a little bit lacking. I think the first year has been really poor for Wii U owners. Mario Tennis and Kirby and Labo are the only new games in the first half of the year. Second half of the year, we've got big games like Pikmin. Pokemon. Smash just makes it at the end of the year. And what's the third game that I'm thinking of? Oh, Mario Party, obviously. All good games, but for me, it's not quite enough. And I think there's a big lull between. And there's nothing in September or October first party. And I think one game in there, even a really small game in there, and a big reveal would have been absolutely perfect for me. That would have been great. And I think without those two, it's really disappointing in port. Luckily, we've got loads to play, but I just feel as if it would have really been a fantastic sort of E3 in a year, second year. I'm worried that they're going to lose the momentum. That's my big thing, is that they had such a good first year. In this second year, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I want it to keep ramping up, and it's the same with the third parties as well. It seemed to be so good. It's like, why are the third parties not coming on bigger than they are? I just expected a bit more, but we'll see how it all plays out. I'm sure there'll be more reveals coming, so I'm sure it'll all be fine.
Reggie did say that it seems late again, but starting at the end of the year, December, early 2019, that there'll be less delay with third parties publishing their ports from Xbox games and PS4 games.
But what about more of them? I mean, they're the ones that, does that mean there's going to be more of them as well, or just the ones that we do get are going to be more day and date, like, say, Doom 2 and things like that? But he obviously didn't say, but we will say. I mean, but ultimately, all said and done, E3 is a week. It is really exciting. It's really good. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. Do you still feel how do you feel about the Switch's second year and kind of moving forward and the positivity for your enjoyment of the Switch, but also the state of the Switch in the kind of wider sort of gaming sort of community? How are you guys feeling?
I've got too much to play. Quite literally, too much to play. It's all these games. Hollow Knight just came out as well, and I'm not going to buy it. It's a cracking game that possibly I should download, but no way. So even with that 25 minutes of Smash will fill 100 hours on my Switch. And that's all I need for the rest of the year, to be honest.
But that's not the rest of the year, though, is it? It's coming December.
That is quite true. I got Mario Tennis to
Monster
Monster Hunter, Mario Tennis to fill me up until then.
Yeah, they're not bad games, are they, either? So, what about you, Greg? How are you feeling about it all?
I'm sort of with both of you here. Likely, I've got far too much to play, so it's not like I need hundreds more games coming out. But also, I kind of think the Switch maybe has lost a little bit of momentum this year, and it's been kind of disappointing not to see a few more fresh titles revealed. But I think next year might be better. You're probably going to see another Mario game next year. You're bound to see a 2D Mario game next year. You're going to see probably Star Fox Grand Prix. You're going to see Yoshi, all sorts.
Fire
of
Emblem, the proper Pokemon, Metroid Prime 4, Bayonetta 3.
I think next year is probably going to be a much stronger year than this year. But like Lee says, there's too much to play, so just get on with it.
Can't complain too much, but yeah. So awesome. Well, thanks very much, guys. That was good chat. And thanks for listening, everyone, to our second special E3 podcast. Now we're going to launch the podcast officially with our first episode of our traditional podcast coming soon. So please keep listening to that. Thank you very much, and tell us what you think about E3. Are you more positive than we are, or are you pretty down about it? You want more? What do you want? And we'll chat to you very soon. So see you later, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Review Podcast. You can find this very podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and TuneIn. Just search for the Nintendo Review Podcast. We are also on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where you'll find great content such as news, reviews, and streams. Of course, you'll also find us at nintendoreview.co.uk. And check out the Nintendo Review Discord channel for lively discussion, meetups, and in-game voice chat. Drop by and say hello.